Welcome to Linux in 10 Minutes, Part 1 with PageKey Solutions at linebylinecode.com. If you haven't already, sign up for the Line by Line Code mailing list at linebylinecode.com/signup to get the latest updates and all kinds of cool info. The first and most common command you'll come across on Linux is ls. When you type that in, it just shows the files in the current directory. If you type ls-a, it shows all hidden files. Hidden files begin with a dot in Linux. If you type ls-l, it shows lots of info on the files, such as when they were last edited. And if you type ls-al, you can do both at the same time. cd is the command that lets you change directories. So if I'm in the mood to play some games, I'll just go to my games directory. If I try to cd to a directory that doesn't exist, it throws an error. If you ever get turned around and lost on Linux, the pwd command tells you where you are. It stands for print working directory. Typing the entire absolute path to a file or folder every single time can get pretty exhausting. That's why Linux has relative paths. These are dot and dot dot, which stand for the current directory and the parent directory respectively. So if you want to access the parent directory, instead of typing the whole thing out, just write cd dot dot. The cat command prints a file to the terminal. The touch command is a way to create an empty file with the name that you give it. It's good for making placeholders or checking to see if you have permissions to make files. If you want to make a new folder, you just use mkdir or mkdir to make a new directory. You'll notice that if you try to make more than one directory at a time, one inside of the other, it fails out. To fix this, you can use mkdir-p, which allows you to create nested directories with no errors. It also won't fail with an error if you try to create a directory that already exists. If you want to remove an empty directory, rmdir is the way to go. As you can see, if you try to remove a directory with any files or folders in it, rmdir will fail. If you need to move a file or rename a file on Linux, it's basically the same thing. You're just rewriting the path at which it is stored. You can do that with the mv command, or move. If you want to remove a single file, you can do that with the rm command. Remember how rmdir failed for directories that aren't empty? We can use rm-r, or recursive remove, to get rid of these directories. Notice how it prompts you for every file that it deletes. If you want to delete thousands of files in one fell swoop, then being prompted for every single file is not going to work. For this, we use rm-rf, or recursive force, so that we don't get the prompt, do you really want to delete this file? Be very careful with this one because you can destroy your system with it. So yeah, think twice before hitting enter. There's a link to the full article in the description. Also, don't forget to sign up at linebylinecode.com/signup to get the absolute latest info from Line by Line Code. That's it for Linux in 10 Minutes Part 1. You now know how to navigate around the system, rename files, all that stuff. So thanks for watching and see you for Part 2.